Yeah, live from the city where the lights stay bright. Orange and blue, yeah, we reppin' all night. From the bleachers to the field, hear the crowd ignite. Every swing, every pitch, yeah, you know that's life. We don't fold, we rise, yeah, the energy loud. Queen, stand up, yeah, we do it for the crowd. Breaking down every play, every move, every game. Metropolitan Report, yeah, we hold it down. Talk stats, talk facts, yeah, we give you the truth. From the vets to the young, yeah, we cover the truth. If you bleed orange and blue, then you already know. When the intro hit, it's time for the show. It's the Metropolitan Report.
Realize I was on mute there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Alfred Parsar Jr. back with another Metropolitan Report. As you're wondering why it's kind of dark in my area, I am live from my car, ladies and gentlemen, live from the car. True dedication, but we had to get this episode out. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Again, this is Alfred Parsar Jr. with the Metropolitan Report. And before we begin this edition of the report live on Facebook, Twitch, and yeah, we're live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Go down below. The socials are on the page, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Instagram, the X account, the Facebook account, and of course our YouTube page all at the bottom. So once again, make sure you follow. You'll get some live exclusive content that only the Metropolitan Report can bring you, just like our opening day vlog that we did that has received some rave reviews, and of course all our episodes every time we go live, and all of our Metropolitan Report shorts, reels, everything. So go down below, hit that subscribe bell if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube, hit the subscribe bell. Shout out to my good friend Drew Learned, always a good supporter. He writes some good articles. Check him out. He has a YouTube page that he writes articles on. Very good stuff. So we're here the first full week of the season, ladies and gentlemen. First full week of the season as we get our lights situated here. But the first full week of the season is upon us. The Mets on a road trip. They opened the season against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Took 2 or 3 in that series and are now on the road. The Mets currently sit at 500. They're playing 500 ball, 3-3. They are tied for third in the National League East. Of course, the Marlins are in first place. How many more times will we say that this season? The Marlins in first place, 5 wins and a loss, followed by the Atlanta Braves, who are 4-2, and then the Mets, Phillies, and the Nats all tied 3-3. But it's early in the season. Nobody's standard watching. It's just information that I'm going to give you. But this New York Mets team took 2 or 3 in the opening series from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Things were looking promising. We thought they had washed the stink of 2025 off of them. Of course, 2025 was notorious for offensive slumps. The Mets chased Paul Scenes out of the first inning. Again, all of that is on the opening day sights and sounds of Citi Field vlog here on the YouTube channel for those of you watching on YouTube. And then the Mets played the St. Louis Cardinals on the road, and the Cardinals, who have been honest with their fan base, the Cardinals took 2 of 3 from this Mets team. The Mets won the opener, and then they dropped the second and third game of the series. The Mets doing a lot of traveling because they played a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series in St. Louis after playing Thursday, Saturday, Sunday in New York. So they travel from New York to St. Louis, already 1 time zone difference. And now they open a 4-game set tonight against the San Francisco Giants. They're playing the Giants tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday before returning home this coming Tuesday. So the Mets travel might have them down, especially traveling 2 time zones in 2 different series, or 3 time zones rather, east to Midwest to West. So they went from east to Central to Pacific. So a lot of traveling, a lot of fatigue maybe. But this Mets team, there was even in the series loss, there were a lot of good things that I saw out of this Mets club in terms of what happened, in terms of just production from the pitching standpoint during this series against the Cardinals, and we'll get right into it. I was very impressed with Freddie Peralta. We're going to talk about Freddie Peralta here. Freddie Peralta, again, against Pittsburgh, he did get the win against the Pirates in the home opener. Didn't look so sharp. 5 innings pitched. He gave up 4 runs on 6 hits, but he did strike out 7 and walked nobody. A little bit of a better outing against the Cardinals. Only gave up 1 run on 3 hits. Struck out 7 again. Did walk 2 batters and went 5 1/3 innings, but got a no decision in that game, allowing just the 1 earned run. But Freddie Peralta, his strikeout to walks ratio so far this season, 14-2. That's fantastic. 14 strikeouts and 2 walks in 10 1/3 innings. Peralta is putting up ace-like numbers. He's worth what we gave up. I mean, Tobias Myers also a welcome addition, but Tobias Myers aside, for Brandon Sproat, and again, I still firmly believe, and I'm probably in the minority on this opinion, but Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams for Freddie Peralta is right now looking like a mastermind of a deal. Peralta, a lot of poise on the mound, seemed much more confident. I think he had opening day jitters on opening day, not to mention Brandon Lau of the Pirates has Freddie Peralta's number. We saw that 2 home runs in the same game off of Peralta, but definitely I firmly believe that Peralta has settled down. He was looking poised. He was looking confident. No issues on the mound. And of course, Peralta never had issues with velocity or command. Yes, he did walk 2, but he still struck out 7, just like on opening day. Yeah, and I couldn't have asked for better production through the first 2 starts for Peralta. Freddie Peralta is a guy, and I've said it before, and I know this is a small sample size, just 2 games, but 14 strikeouts to 2 walks in 10 1/3 innings. You couldn't ask for more. Granted, the Mets did lose the game that Peralta started, but again, to give up 1 run in an outing and have a quality start, you can't fault him there. He looked really good against the Cardinals. Again, he struck out 7 Cardinals, only walked 2, and again, Peralta, the body language is positive, the energy is there, the poise, the confidence, the machismo, all there for Freddie Peralta. He is worth every dollar he's getting paid this season and then some. And I really feel that the Mets would be foolish. And again, I know 2 games, very small sample size, but I really do feel that Freddie has earned the money. The Mets need an ace. They haven't had an ace since Jacob deGrom left back in 2022. If the Mets were smart, they would pounce on Freddie Peralta before maybe the Los Angeles Dodgers come knocking. If Freddie escapes the season as a free agent. But Freddie Peralta, you can't ask for much more out of him. He started the game yesterday, April Fool's Day, where the Mets lost in extra innings to the Cardinals. Then we go to Kodai Senga, somebody who I was very nervous about. I know I had been critical on a recent episode of the report about Kodai Senga. Last season is well documented. He had injuries each of the last 2 seasons. I personally felt that he gave up on himself and on the team last season when he was hurt, didn't want to come back from the injury. But hey, Kodai went 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He walked 3, but he struck out 9 in 1 game, 9 strikeouts to the 2 earned runs, 4 hits. And that was Wednesday's outing. And again, pitchers are going to give up runs. I'm never going to get mad at a starting pitcher who went a start and went six and gave up two earned runs. Again, that's considered a quality start, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, quality starts don't. You can still be the losing pitcher of record and still have a quality start. Like a lot of people who don't understand baseball will say, "Oh, well, he lost the game. What are you praising him for?" Pitchers are going to give up runs. Nolan Ryan gave up runs. Greg Maddux gave up runs. Tom Glavine gave up runs. Randy Johnson gave up runs. The great Tom Seaver himself gave up runs. So I don't want to hear anybody saying, "Oh, well, the Mets didn't win behind his performance." If the pitcher goes out there and does his job, 2 runs in 6 innings, like pitchers are going to give up runs. But between Freddie Peralta yesterday and Kodai Senga, and Kodai Senga on Tuesday, there just wasn't run support, unfortunately. But Kodai Senga, again, I liked what I saw. Mind you, he's working his way back from injury, but to get a quality start in, 2 runs on 4 hits in 6 innings and 9 strikeouts. 56 of his 92 pitches that he threw were strikes. So I have no issue with Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga looking very good. I mean, granted, small sample size, his first start of the season. We'll see him again at home the next time we see him. But very encouraging signs from what I'm seeing from Kodai. But Kodai Senga, I have no issue with his output so far this season in that one start. It was a very good start indeed. The next time we will see Kodai Senga, it's going to be upcoming this week when the Mets host the Diamondbacks at Citi Field for a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tilt. But yeah, and then we want to go to the guy who opened the season on Monday, Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes, again, this is his second season as a full-time starter. Last season, he made the transition from closer with the Yankees in 2024 to starter last season with the Mets. And even Clay Holmes didn't have a bad outing against St. Louis. He just needs a manageable workload because I think that he did suffer from arm fatigue last season. But Clay Holmes, 5 2/3 innings on Monday, 2 runs on 4 hits and 5 2/3. He walked 3 and struck out 5. His strikeout to walk ratio is never going to be as high as Peralta's or Senga's, but he pitched well enough for the Mets to win that game on Monday. Of course, the Mets, that was the lone win in the series for the Mets against the Cardinals. The Mets winning 4-2. But Clay Holmes, pitching to contact, his sinker is working. He did give up a home run, but again, pitchers are going to give up runs. You get a guy who goes 5 2/3, 1 out away from 6 innings, giving up 2 runs. Granted, yeah, the walks are a little bit high, 3 walks to 5 strikeouts, but I'm not going to complain. 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings, and the bullpen held up. This Met, despite the loss of the series to the Cardinals, dropping 2 out of 3 to a team that has admitted to their fan base that they are in a rebuild. They have made it no secret. They've been very transparent with their fan base that they are rebuilding. But even in rebuilding, they beat a good team in the Mets. But even with the Mets struggling with the Cardinals, 3 starting pitchers in 3 games and 3 quality outings from each starting pitcher. So very happy with what I'm seeing. Despite the Mets losing the series, it is an encouraging sign when you have 3 pitchers in 3 straight games give up no more than 2 runs. So very happy with what I saw out of Holmes, Peralta, and Senga. I've got some comments here. My good friend, JC, Justin Caballero, fire Brazaban. Yeah, Oscar Brazaban. They've been saying that since last season. He says, Love Lady stinks. I couldn't agree more. And he says, Love Lady is on La Corporacion's payroll. For those of you out there who are wrestling fans, Justin and I do commentary for the Intense Wrestling Action promotion out in Nutley, New Jersey. Check that out. But yeah, very encouraging signs from the starting pitching, nonetheless. So, but yeah, but I mean, even with losses, it's early in the season. October is never determined. October is never determined by what happens in March, unless you're the Mets last season. You missed one game. One game in March could have been the difference, or April. But nonetheless, also good. Juan Soto. Juan Soto. Now the offense, this offense in this series against the Cardinals was sleeping. And just like in the Pirates series, Juan Soto, Juan Soto, he hasn't played bad. Juan Soto on Monday went 1 for 3, 2 for 4 on Tuesday, 1 for 5 yesterday, driving in a home, the only run the Mets had, a home run. He struck out 2 times and walked twice in the series. So yeah, Juan Soto went 4 for 12 in that series, batting .333 for the season. Juan Soto batting .346, 1 homer, 5 RBIs, OPS of .952. Pacheco's not the problem in this offense. Juan Soto handling his business, doing as much as he can, and technically, and we'll get to this a bit later, but if Francisco Lindor hadn't been caught lollygagging on the bases, because Lindor was on base when Soto came up in that at bat, he hit the home run. If Lindor doesn't get picked off first, the Mets win the game, because that game went to extras tied at 1-1. It would have been 2-1 in the standard 9 innings. So Juan Soto handling his business, doing what needs to be done. No issue with Juan Soto there. I don't think I have to spend too much time on Pacheco, because Pacheco's been handling business. Hit over 300 in the Pirates series, hitting over 300 in the Cardinals series. And Juan Soto, dare I say, is on a hit streak. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Soto's on a 6-game hit streak. So for those of you who watch this show, who pay attention to things that I say, you could go ahead and clip this. Juan Soto on a 6-game hitting streak to start the season. You love to see it. Soto, no issue there. And it looks like Pacheco, who finished third in NL MVP voting, looking to try to make a case to be top 3, if not the MVP in the National League this season. Then we want to go ahead and talk about the not so good. So Francisco Lindor, we talked about it. Francisco Lindor. Now I'm not gonna go ahead and hammer the guy fully, because Francisco Lindor, we all know he had the broken hand in the offseason. He had the surgery. He had his elbow cleaned up. So the guy got repaired in the offseason. We understand that. We get that. But at the same time, the mental mistakes just can't. In yesterday's game, as I mentioned, Juan Soto comes up to the plate. Lindor was on first. That at bat, Soto hits a home run, but it becomes a solo home run because Lindor gets caught, picked off on first base with a caught stealing. And things like that just cannot happen, especially when base runners are at a premium in the series. The Mets offense was sleeping most of the series. And, the previous game on Tuesday, the Mets got shut out, didn't score a single run, lost the game 3-0. And then the very next game, after just getting a shutout, you try and put some runs on the board. And what does Lindor do? He gets caught dancing on the bag. Then a defensive play happens. Runner on first. Lindor gets the ball fielded, and he forgot how many outs there were in the inning. Now, as somebody who is the anchor of the defense, I always say the shortstop is the anchor of the defense. For the shortstop to be the anchor of the defense, and you make that type of mental error, is just unacceptable. The shortstop is the even if you don't have a C on your chest, which Steve Cohen says as long as he owns the team, there'll never be a captain. But we all know that this is Lindor's team, or was Lindor's team prior to Juan Soto coming aboard. But for somebody who has a leadership role in the clubhouse, and you're the anchor of the defense, the captain of the defense, if you will, there's no reason why you just blank out and forget how many outs there are in an inning. Like, how does that happen? How is that possible? Now, granted, everybody's entitled to have a bad day in life. Every baseball player is entitled to have a bad game more than once a season. But for a guy who's so defensively talented, and for a guy who's an elite player at his position in the league, there's no reason whatsoever that Francisco Lindor should ever forget how many outs there are in an inning. And I don't know if it's because getting adjusted to early in the season. I don't know. I don't know if there's something going on off the field that had his mind wrapped up. Not to mention he's had another slow start this season. Lindor does it every season. Starts off slow and heats up as the season goes on. And I can forgive that. I can forgive a guy for starting a season slow. I can forgive a guy who, in the months of late March, all of April, early May, not really hitting. But then when June comes around, it's like the switch flips, and all of a sudden this guy's a hit machine. I could forgive that. But what we can't forgive is a player on defense forgetting how many outs there are. And I'd be mad too. Like, for example, if Juan Soto caught a ball with one out and now it becomes 2 outs and there's a man on first base and he threw the ball in the stands. Couldn't forgive that. Not that happened, but if it did, I'd be upset. But there's no reason as a shortstop, there's 1 out, man on first, ball gets hit to you, and you only make the play at first because you thought there were 2 outs and now the inning is over. No, that just can't happen. So whatever's wrong with Frankie needs to get it together. Lindor is a cornerstone of this team. He is an elite shortstop, one of, if not the best shortstop in the National League. Only shortstops I would put ahead of him, both play in the American League. And I'm talking about Gunnar Henderson, and who's now playing short in the absence of Jackson Holliday on the Orioles, and Bobby Witt Jr. That's about it. Full-time shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. is the only one that's got the nod over Lindor, in my opinion. So for a guy like Lindor to make these types of mental blunders, and all of it happening in the same game that resulted in a loss, granted, whiffing on the double play, nothing came of it. The next batter was out, and the Mets got out of the inning unscathed. But all of this happening in the same game amidst a losing streak, it's just too much. And I hope Lindor can get it together when the Mets play the Giants starting tonight. But that just can't happen. That just cannot happen. All righty. Moving on to today's events. The Mets on the road still, now in the Pacific time zone. They open a series against the Giants tonight. That game is in exactly 2 hours from now at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. Mets playing the Giants. And we're going to do a little series preview here. The New York Mets, again, 3-3, playing 500 ball. We look at the Giants. Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties here. Um, Definitely super apologize. Don't know what happened quite there. But but yeah. So as I was saying, um yeah, sorry we lost the feed here, but we are back. Um so the Mets playing the Giants starting today. That is a 4-game series. Mets playing the Giants tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday before the off day Monday to travel back to New York to open up against the Diamondbacks. This Mets team playing the Giants again 2 hours from right now, 9:45 p.m. Eastern time is when the series starts, and then a 10:15 first pitch tomorrow, 9:05 p.m. Saturday, and 4:05 p.m. on Sunday. Uh, you look at the pitching matchups here as we're going to do a series preview. The pitching matchups for this series against the Giants is as follows. As I pull it up, so tonight it'll be David Peterson going up against former AL Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray. David Peterson, who looked really good in his first start of the season, that was against the Pirates this past Saturday, who went 5 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 6 hits, but didn't let a run come across. He'll be opposed by Robbie Ray, who was 0-1 with a 3.38 ERA. Then tomorrow, Nolan McLean goes up against Tyler Mahle. McLean, no wins, no losses, 3.60 ERA this past Sunday. From this past Sunday's outing, 8 strikeouts. Tyler Mahle 0-1, 4.50 ERA, 5 strikeouts on the year. Saturday, Clay Holmes, who's 1-0 with a 3.18 ERA, as we mentioned before, goes up against Landon Roop, who looked really good in his outing against the San Diego Padres. 6 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks on 2 hits, no runs. He's 1-0 with no ERA. And in the series finale Sunday, Kodai Senga, who we saw against the Cardinals. So I made a mistake. He'll be up before the Mets come back to play the Diamondbacks, going up against Logan Webb, who's 1-1 with a 7.36 ERA. One thing I want to bring up, uh, All right, so I think we're back here, but yeah. So sorry again, folks. Technical difficulties. Just gonna do it from the phone. But one thing that I want to go over: players to watch on the Giants. Of course, these two are players to watch for the Giants that'll be very dangerous against the New York Mets pitching staff, and that's Luis Arias and Willie Adames. As you see, Willie Adames on the right, batting .250, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, OPS of .667, and then we have Luis Arias, who's batting .304, no homers, but has 1 RBI and a .668 OPS. Arias coming off of a great World Baseball Classic where he was on the winning team, being Team Venezuela. So, again, Adames and Arias, very dangerous against the Mets team. As far as who's going to win the series, I honestly think that it is going to be a split. I think that the Mets can take tonight's game, and I believe the Mets will take tomorrow. So the games that McLean and Peterson pitch, I have faith. I think the Giants will sneak one against Holmes, and I think they'll beat Senga. But we have a comment here. Not forgetting anybody. My good friend Royal Raw says Robbie is washed. Talking about Robbie Ray. Offense gets back on track tonight. Bo homers. I'm calling it. So my good friend Raw, shout out to you there, sir. Predicts a Bo Bichette home run. We'll see if Bo Bichette does indeed homer. So, yeah. So this Mets team, very encouraging signs from this Mets ball club. Despite the losing, again, there's good stuff coming out of this coming from this Mets team. I mean, it's early on. Some guys have rust. Guys like Luis Robert Jr., not really hitting on all cylinders yet with his conditioning. He didn't have an extended spring training. And then some guys played in the World Baseball Classic like Holmes and McLean. So everybody's just trying to get their feet underneath themselves. But it's good to see the starting pitching actually, working in the Mets' favor. So that's always a positive there. So you got to take in a sport like baseball, you have to take the good with the bad. So, yeah, again, very encouraging signs from the Mets so far this season. One last thing that I wanna get into here before we end the program, before any more technical difficulties may strike us. Yeah, that's the first for me. Computer shows that we're at 80% on the battery and turns itself off 3 times. That's unprecedented. I do apologize for the technical difficulties for everybody out there that is watching this program. If you're watching on video on demand, we can get a laugh about it later. But yeah, so I want to look at the Mets minor league system, and I know our friend Drew Learned is going to be hype about this because that kid is a minor league enthusiast. So we'll pull up the Mets chart here. Getting in to the Mets prospect situation. So the Mets top 30 prospects. We'll take a look at this list. Carson Benj obviously started the season in the bigs. Jonah Tong is the number 2 Mets prospect. He's in Syracuse right now. AJ Ewing, he'll be in AA in Binghamton. Ryan Clifford's in AAA. Jacob Reimer's in AA. Right-hand pitcher Jack Weniger, who was highlighted in our spring training vlog, he's in AAA. Mitch Voigt is starting the season in Brooklyn. That's high A. Elian Pena, St. Lucie, he'll be starting the season in Single A. Jonathan Santucci, number 9 in Binghamton AA. Will Watson, number 10 right-hand pitcher. He's going to be starting in Binghamton in AA. Wandy Asajan is extending spring training out in the Dominican Republic. Nick Morabito, who played for Team Italy in the WBC, he was also highlighted in our spring training vlog. He's starting out in Syracuse. Number 13, Eli Serrano III, as well as left-handed pitcher Zach Thornton. Catcher, outfielder, first baseman Chris Suero. That guy does everything. He was also highlighted in the spring training vlog. They're starting out all in Double-A Binghamton. Antonio Jimenez, the shortstop, he's going to start out in Brooklyn in High A. Ryan Lambert, who should have been on this roster, anybody but Richard Lovelady. He's going to be in Syracuse AAA. Dylan Ross, he's on an injury reserve. He is number 18. Number 19, RJ Gordon, a right-handed pitcher. He's also injured, a lat injury. Marco Vargas, number 20, the second baseman, Binghamton. Jonathan Pintaro, a right-handed pitcher. He's starting in Syracuse. Peter Cuso, he's injured. He's having shoulder surgery. So is Boston Barrow as an infielder. Randy Guzman, starting in St. Lucie Single A. Diverson Gutierrez, a catcher, starting in Brooklyn High A. Camden Lohman, extended spring training in Florida. Nathan Hall is injured, internal brace surgery rehab. Cam Tilley, number 28, right-handed pitcher. He'll be in St. Lucie Single A. Brendan Girton, right-handed pitcher, Binghamton, that's Double A. And then Edward Lantigua, an outfielder. He's in extended spring training in Florida. Out of all the Mets minor league teams so far this season, I'm going to go ahead and say that Double-A Binghamton is the team to watch. If you keep up with Mets minor league stuff, whether it's Brooklyn, St. Lucie, Binghamton, or Syracuse. Double-A Binghamton won the Eastern League Championship last season. Many of the Mets prospects who helped its postseason push in 2025 have returned in 2026. A.J. Ewing and Jacob Reimer are there. They give the Binghamton Rumble Ponies some lightning and thunder in the lineup. And newcomer to Double-A, Serrano is a breakout pick among many scouts in the organization as he adds strength heading into his second full season. The pitching is also not bad in Double-A Binghamton with Santucci, Watson, Thornton, and Girton. And the first two might not even be in Double-A for that long if they replicate their 2025 success. Out of all the players in the Mets farm system that we could see in 2026 in Flushing, Jonah Tong more than likely is going to get back up to the majors. He did have 5 starts last season with a 7.71 ERA. If he could develop his cutter a little bit, he'll be out of Syracuse in no time. Ryan Clifford, left-handed power option at first base. He's 22 years of age. He had a decent look at spring training. We highlighted him in the vlog. The only thing stopping him is the health of Jorge Polanco. Should Polanco go down, if the Mets don't look to acquire a first baseman outside of the organization, they could always give Clifford a call. Ryan Lambert and Dylan Ross are expected to be key pieces of New York's bullpen. They may see a call-up at some point this season if injuries or poor performance are a thing. And then A.J. Ewing, who is starting the season in Double-A, has a slim chance, but I do see it happening depending on circumstance. He may end up making an appearance in Flushing at some point this season. As far as new minor league talent, the Mets did not add much talent over the offseason outside of Asigen, who is a shortstop who had a career in the Dominican Republic. However, Elian Pena, also from the Dominican Republic, a lot of things expected out of those two. He's skipping over the Florida Complex League and going straight to Single A, so skipping rookie ball and going to Low A is Pena. That doesn't really happen all that often. Only 2 prospects skipped rookie ball and went straight to Low A last season. That was Jesus Maid of the Brewers organization and Luis Pena. So that is that. Minor league baseball, not very accessible to watch on television, but if you do have MLB TV, an MLB TV subscription, you can watch all of your favorite teams' minor league affiliates. So we've reached the end of the program for today. Again, I am mobile. I'm in the car. I'm not in the home studio. That's why I've had technical difficulties trying to do this thing on the go. But the Mets do play the San Francisco Giants, 4-game set starting tonight, 9:45 p.m. Eastern time, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for the technical difficulties once again. Make sure you go down below, follow us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and the YouTube Metropolitan Report. I am Alfred Parsar Jr. I've said everything there is to say. The only thing I can say is, again, sorry for the technical difficulties, and let's go Mets. See ya.